Good evening, everyone, and we welcome Sheikh Abdullah Alkhaleel to our channel today. Today we are going to talk about the massacre which happened in Bondi Beach in Sydney recently. The reason today we are live discussing this matter because we are very frustrated from the Australian officials and media. We can see that no one at all is actually pointing at the core of the problem. We just see very vague statements, very vague analysis. We don't really see anything which touch the real problem in that matter. We think, or we believe very strongly, that the problem is far bigger than what most people think, because the external factors which are affecting the Muslim society, which is actually stolen by those external powers, let's say, and made them work like puppets for their targets and their agenda. It's been very frustrating, actually, watching the Australian media recently, and I have just actually watched a program which may be 2 years old, made by Mr. Josh Frydenberg, who was the previous treasurers in Australia, talking about anti-Semitism in Australia, and never ever actually touch the real problem. However, we want to go straight away to the matter, and we welcome Sheikh Abdullah Alkhaleel. And Sheikh Abdullah, to start with, I would like you just first to introduce yourself briefly, and why do you think that you would be maybe the best person to talk about this matter? Please.
My name is Abdullah Alkhaleel. I am originally from city of Homs in Syria. I've been studying Islam for about 45 years. I'm 60 years old. I'm professor in Islamic law and Islamic ideology and Islamic logic, because we have our own philosophy, our own logic, and our own law, our own ideologies. And I'm teaching Islam since 30 years. I have a lot of students all around the area of Middle East, Syria, Lebanon, Turkey, and Jordan. Some of them are in Israel. And my students, they are studying the very original official Islam law and Islam ideology. And I had my certificates from an university, they call it Generations and Technology. It's based in USA.
Okay, thank you, Sheikh Abdullah. Where shall we start from? So, as we both know, it's all about the petrodollar and what is named the Muslim Brotherhood Organization, which is a very big organization now. As far as I know, that the assets of this organization now is not less than $400 billion. So the organization, as everyone knows, been maybe around for 100 years, and now it's seeded itself in the regime of Qatar and being spoiled by them by billions and billions of dollars all over the world. I'm not taking your role. I'm giving you the mic, and I will just listen for a while. So the mic is with you. Take your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. First of all, let's go to the roots of this problem. The roots of it is the British, when they came to our country, to Syria, to Lebanon, to Gulf area, Egypt, etc., they found only Sunni Muslims, very original Sunni Muslims. And Sunni Muslims, we take our Islam from the explanation of the Prophet to Quran. Quran is the main book, and this book, it is a summarized book for ideology, for moral, for law, and for logic. This book, it's been explained completely by Prophet Muhammad himself. And we don't accept these explanations from any person in the world but Muhammad himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our Prophet. And this explanation, it's been documented in the first and second century of the history of Islam by 6 copies. Each copy, it's been named by the person who was the professor who sponsored, who was working and leading that project to write down this copy of law, which been inherited from Muhammad himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, comes to that teacher, to that professor, through his many thousands of teachers. They are companions of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and their students. The first copy, we call it the copy of Abu Hanifa, and the copy of Shafi'i, the copy of Malik, and the copy of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. And about the ideology, we have 2 scholars, 2 professors. They took that ideology from the books from the legacy of these 4 imams, 4 scholars, and they documented. First one is Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, the second is Imam Abu Mansur al-Maturidi. And we have a school of moral, because if you are a religious man, you need to take the moral. And the moral, we call it Sufism. The moral is the way to practice these orders. We call it Sufism. We have one imam, his name is Al-Junayd al-Baghdadi. So we have 7 imams, we follow one of them. And all Muslims, when the British came, they were following these 7 imams, one of these 7 imams, one in law, one in ideology, and one in moral. So each Muslim has to follow 3 imams, one in law, one in moral, one in ideology. The British, when they came, they find that Islam is so closed, so strict, cannot be infiltrated. So they went to something else of the legacy of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the uncertain legacy. Because we have the certain legacy, which 100%, no doubt, it came from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This legacy I explained. The other one is the speech of the Prophet, the letterly speech of the Prophet. And this speech of the Prophet has not been documented until the 3rd century. So it is very late, and it is very doubtful, because who wrote it, who documented, said, we are not responsible about what is in these, what is in this speech. I inherited from my teacher inherited from his teachers, and we are not responsible in what is this speech. We are not confirming certainly that the Prophet said this. So it is very doubtful. The British, they came, and they have a very big, committees in Oxford, in Cambridge, etc. And they came to the Islamic world, and they invented one copy, the first copy of Islam, new Islam. It is not about our original Islam. It is based on the explanation of the book by this uncertain part of the legacy of Prophet. So it is just like, when that people in Europe, they came to the Bible and they said, we are going to explain the Bible not by the explanation of the Ekleros, the Vatican, the priests. No, we will explain it by ourselves. We read the book and we explain it by ourselves. We have some help. What is this help? It is the Apocrypha. Have you heard about Apocrypha? It is non-certain parts of the Bible. So they came to this uncertain legacy and they said, this is the only explanation to Quran. So they invented a new Islam, a new law, new ideology, a new moral rules, and a new, actually it's not a new, it is a very collapsed logic, a very collapsed logic rules. They said, we are extracting these logic rules from the book, from the legacy of Prophet, that speech, the certain phrase, word, literally speech from the Prophet. And actually, it is not certainly that he said this.
Okay, so just to explain this point before we go any further, when you say this is uncertain part of explanation, are you talking in particular about Al-Bukhari and
yes.
the correct of Muslim? So yes. let's concentrate on this part, that what is now taken as a true fact or black and white fact by the Muslims, especially the Salafis, is actually uncertain because it was written not less than 200 years after the Prophet Muhammad died. And
300 years.
Nearly. So what you're actually talking about is what is well known now is what is named the correct of Muslims and Al-Bukhari. So I just wanted to make sure that people don't get confused with that. Please carry on. Thank you.
Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Sahih Ibn Majah, Sahih al-Tirmidhi, all these books of hadith, they call it hadith, the literally speech of Prophet. These books, it is not certainly the words of Prophet, not certainly. But the legacy I told you of Imam Malik, Abu Hanifa, Ahmad, Shafi'i, Ash'ari, Maturidi, Junaid, it's all certainly 100%. It came from the Prophet and the words of the Prophet, but it is being written by the words of the documenters, not literally. And it's a huge legacy, you know. In Abu Hanifa or Shafi'i or copy, we have 4 copies of law. Each copy contains 1 million law, detailed law, 1 million or more. So it's a huge law. It's enough for empire like the Islamic Empire, which controlled the third of the world one day. So, and it is going to keep continuing to use this legacy for 14 centuries, 14 centuries, until the end of the Ottoman Empire and the Afghani kingdom and the Indian kingdom. It was the legacy of Prophet Abu Hanifa was the law of Islam at that time, and the ideology of Ash'ari and Maturidi, and it is still until now. I'm as a Muslim, and everyone as a Muslim, they won't go to the book of speech of Prophet and take fatwa. Fatwa, it means the judgment of God about an incident. We don't go to the books of Shafi'i or books of Muslim and Bukhari or books of Hadith to take the fatwa of what the incidents are facing us. We go to the books of the legacy of these 7 Imams. So the Salafiyat, they invented a new Islam, as I mentioned to you. They explained Islam a very odd, very strange way. And this strange way logically goes that every Muslim on the earth is not Muslim, but Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab and his followers. And they explained the ayat, the phrases of Quran, that words of Quran, words of Allah, that they have a duty imposed on them by Allah, that they should force everyone on earth, starting with their Muslims. They said they are not Muslims, they are not anymore Muslims. They are just, they are not Muslims anymore. They just left Islam. About us, about Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi, they said, no, they are not Muslims. They are infidels. And they should follow the ideology of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab. And actually, they took money.
Yeah, just to explain one point so we don't actually get lost also down the road. You're talking about the person named Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahab, who lived nearly 200 years back in the northern of Saudi Arabia now. And that person who created the Wahhabism, which was taken by Saudi Arabia and Qatar for decades, and then where the organization, the terrorist organization of Muslim Brotherhood, was created in Egypt based on that concept. And Muhammad Abdul Wahab considered that all Muslims all over the planet were actually not Muslim, and they had to convert back to Islam according or following his rules, which is Wahhabism. Please carry on.
You have better English than mine.
Okay, I'm just trying to
you explain the idea very, you emphasize it very well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for this help.
Thank you.
Wahhabis, they extended their small town by help of British until they controlled most of the Arabic Peninsula, some of southern Jordan, and even they, cross that desert of Syria, and they reach the city of Halab and cities of Iraq, and they committed a lot of massacres. They used to stop the man, any man. They said, who you worship? He said, Allah. And they said, how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala imposed on you? How much? I am asking you, how much Allah imposed on you? You say, I don't know. They said, you don't know? Allah imposed on you 5 praying a day, and you are infidel, and they kill him. They took his head. All their victims, they've been beheaded, and these heads just thrown into a big pile of heads, and they made of them a hell. They call it the mother of skeletons. It's in Saudi Arabia.
You're talking about the number of beheaded skulls, yes, committed by the Wahhabists, to the point that they made a hill, of skulls, cut heads, beheaded heads, due to the number of people they killed only because they did not follow Wahhabism. Thank you.
And this movement is being shrinked again because of a deal between the British and the Ottoman Empire. And then it's been extended again by the willing of British and supporting of British until they formed the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In Egypt, one of the people who adopted their ideas, his name is Rashid Ruda. And he is a student of his name is Jamal al-Din al-Afghani. This Jamal al-Din al-Afghani, he established the Muslim Brothers by both sides, the Sunni and the Shi'i. The Sunni, his student is Rashid Ruda, and the Shi'i way, he invented Wilayat al-Faqih. Because the Shia, they don't have in their legacy that they should commit working in politics or having a state. But he said, no, Mahdi is coming, and he is giving you the orders that hided the Imam. And he gave orders to the fuqaha of Shia to make their own Shia religious state. And he came to the Sunnis, and he took the ideas of bin Abdul Wahab, and he injected in the Azhar of Egypt, and it's been growing and sponsored by the British authorities, which been controlling Egypt at that time. And the Muslim Brothers established officially by Hassan al-Banna, 22 years old journalist, and he made a under the British authority, an organization of 500,000 members all around Egypt, and he fund them, I don't know where from, maybe from his salary. And this Muslim brothers, they extended and they controlled a lot of, they occupied a lot of parts of the Sunnis community in Egypt. Muslim brothers, they have the same ideas of Wahhabis, but it's a little bit different. They said in ideology, we don't follow Wahhabis, but in law, we should invent our own law by just going to Quran and to the speech. And they have their own law, their own moral legacy, their own, it's all been invented by them. The difference between us and them, it is one and very, very, very dangerous difference. We believe that Islam is going to control the whole world one day. We believe in this. But we believe in this as a prophecy. And the prophecy in our religion, it is not a reason to issue any law, any action, any orders. Prophecy is only prophecy. When it happened, we say, oh, thank God it happened. And this is a proof that our prophet was not a liar, was a real messenger of God. But their idea, it came from part of Judaism, that the prophecies are orders, law. So they took that prophecy and they said, we've been ordered by God, by Allah, to distribute our religion by any way all around the world and to conquer the whole world. And to conquer first the Muslims around us, bring them to the original right Islam. And they said that their copies of, their invented copies of Islam, it is the original right Islam.
Okay.
And every Muslim has to go there.
Okay.
So they use every way to bring Muslims to follow them.
May I summarize at this point? So
yes.
Jamal Din Afghani was the person who injected the Wahhabism idea in two versions of Islam at that time. The Shia, which follow the hidden or the missed Imam, or the Al-Mahdi, or the leader. And that's why Imam Khomeini, at the end, requested to export the Islamic Revolution and injected the same idea in Al-Azhar University in Egypt, which finally gave the birth of the organization of Muslim Brotherhood, which is in Arabic, Al-Ikhwan Al-Muslimun. So this Muslim Brotherhood was created by Hassan al-Banna, who actually was teaching in Saudi Arabia. He got the first funding from Saudi Arabia, where he learned Wahhabism. Now, what is the difference between this new group of Muslims and the regular Muslims at that time? That the regular Muslims have a prophecy that Islam will control the world and Jesus will come at the end of the life and spread the real religion, which is Islam, which is actually the Christians believe the same, to be honest. But Muslims like you do not have a mandate to make this happen. It's not a mission for Muslims to actually make that happen as soon as possible. While those new Wahhabists are having it as a strong belief that it's their mission to spread this new religion and first to convert the Muslims around them to their own version of Islam. And this new version of Islam is the Wahhabism, which make it a duty for them to conquer the whole world and spread this ideology to make that prophecy happen. So that's the difference between people like you who were, and still being, and still are the regular Muslims who believe in simple Islam. They don't take the speech of the Prophet, which is the correct of Al-Bukhari and the Musnad Muslim. They don't actually take them as black and white. No, maybe he said that, which I would like also to insist here, that especially the word man baddala dinahu faqtuluh, who changed his religion, kill him. That's uncertain. People like you, Muslims like you, don't believe that this is certain. It was believed that it was said by Prophet Muhammad, but it's not mandatory for you to believe in it. While those Wahhabists, they believe letter by letter and those things, and they consider people like you as infidel. That's the problem here. So we have here two versions of Islam. Those new Wahhabists believe that all other Muslims are not actually Muslims, and they have to convert to the new version, to their own version, and they spread this version all over the world. So please.
Man baddala dinahu faqtuluh, who changed his religion has to be killed. It's actually an Islamic law. It is not non-certain. It is certain. But how to go to the progress to do this? In Afghanistan now, there are the Hanafi, they are in control of Afghanistan. And they look at them as the extremists. Actually, no, they are not. They are just like us. They are not Wahhabis. They are not Muslim brothers. The progress is to bring that man who said, I'm denying Islam, and he was Muslim, and we discuss with him why you left Islam, and we convince him. And after we convince him, he go back to Islam, we set him free. We don't have,
what I'm trying to say,
at the time of our emperors, this law has been not executed, except in a very rare cases, very rare cases, or the cases of a groups, huge groups. They just said, we are not Muslims anymore, and we are renegades, and they start rebelling against Islam. We fight them as an enemy.
What I was trying to say, that's a part of the hadith. I just wanted to differentiate it. That's not our subject. Let's go back to the subject.
I just wanted to explain this word, very important. This hadith is very important because Wahhabis, they took it another way. And Muslim brothers, they use it another way. They said that we left our religion and we are not Muslims anymore, and they have a permission from God to kill us, steal us, cheat us, send us away of our homes, fight us by all options, to fight us, to force us to follow them. And the second thing, we don't have in Islam a secret communities. The secret communities in Islam, it's been condemned because it's a kind of hypocrisy. Islam, nothing to hide. We don't have anything to hide in Islam. Not even in a wartime. We don't have anything to hide in our Islam, in our religion, in our law, or in our ideologies. They have their own hiding agenda, their own hiding ideology, their own hiding association, their own hiding community, based on something they call it bay'ah. Bay'ah, it is mean a pledging to follow one man. He issue orders, and we follow his orders with no discussion. And he is controlling that secret community, and we all being organized by him if you are following Muslim brothers or Salafiyat groups. This secret community actually having the duty to extend the ideas of Muslim brothers and Salafiyat in all around the world. And they targeted, first of all, the Islamic communities in everywhere. So you go to Europe, you find the mosques of Muslims are controlled by Salafiyat and Ikhwan. USA, Australia, New Zealand, their main headquarter for Salafiyat and Ikhwan, do you know where, doctor? London. It's in London.
Congratulations.
Under the nose of His Majesty.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And they are in control in every now they are in control of the community of London. That service government in London. London now is the capital of garbage under their control. And I congratulate the British for this very big, huge, achievement. These people, they have unlimited options to extend their ideas. They went to the Western countries where Muslims fled from the clashes with the dictatorship in their country, try to have some peace, like here in Australia. I fled 30 years from Assad. I just wanted to live in peace here. But in fact, I came here, I find that every single mosque, every single Islamic facility is being controlled by associations. And these associations, all of it controlled by Muslim Brothers or Salafiyat. And these associations, if you go to the constitution of these associations, you find that it is not allowed for any constitution to have an economic targets. It is in the constitution of Australia, of New South Wales, of Queensland. The associations, it's only for organizing the community activities, peaceful community activities, not economical targets. In fact, you can go to that associations now, you find them controlling assets, properties worth in Sydney only more than $2 billion for one association, only one association. $2 billion assets and properties. You go to that leaders who are in control of these associations, you find these leaders are just like a crown, a royal families. The father established the association, his son inherited from him, his grandson, now you find him in power, and they all multi-millionaires. 100 million is a very small fortune for them.
Okay,
millions.
So let's clarify this point. So in the law, in the Australian or the constitution law in Australia, that immigrants or groups or ethnic groups are allowed to have associations to help them organizing stuff, cultural issues, schools, as you said, mosque and stuff. But what's happening here in Australia, that those associations are funded by the international Muslim brotherhoods and Wahhabism, and they
Saudi Arabia
and Qatar, and they are acting like mafias. So they have billions of dollars under their controls. They are running it as family business, and they are spreading the poisons of Muslim brotherhoods and Wahhabism supported by Saudi Arabia and Qatar. So can you give us examples how those associations works in mosque and schools, because I think those two areas are the most dangerous areas, mosques and Islamic schools. I think those are the seeding environment of terrorists who are actually growing up in Australia and committing crimes inside and outside Australia. Can you give us examples how they work?
For example, the Wahhabis, they are in control of a piece of land 30 years ago. This piece of land, it's somewhere in the suburbs of Sydney. They said, we are going to build a mosque. And they sent their envoys to Saudi Arabia, to the Gulf area, and they collected charities from everyone. They said, we are building mosque for the Muslims in Australia. These Muslims in Australia are poor people. They need help. 30 years until now, doctor, until now, this mosque hasn't been finished. And they collected more than $200 million to finish and to, conclude this big project.
Money laundering. So it's money laundering.
It's a money laundering. It's a money laundering.
Yeah.
Many of these mosques, it's been used as a business of money laundering. The drug dealers, and there are actually a very big joint relation between the mafia of drugs and arms and these associations and their leaders. They are in control of every single mafia in our cities. And if you go to the jail, you find most of that people who've been busted by the police are from them.
Yes,
and
I know that.
These people are recruiting daily, new guys, new boys, new children into their gangs daily. The Islamic schools, they are playing the worst role, actually. That student, they goes to that Islamic schools to learn Arabic language, Quran, Islamic legacy. Instead of that, they don't learn Arabic, they learn English, but bad English, and they learn Wahhabis ideologies, Ikhwan Muslimin, Muslim Brothers ideology, and they become a project of terrorist or a project of criminal. And the quality of education is rubbish. You go to our schools, to our cities, to our streets, you find 90% of our young generation is not educated. And who been educated? They've been educated very bad, very low quality. And these people, they are not doing the services they should do it. You go to find, what they call it, that tradesmen who've been graduated by these schools. They learn that they should not comply with the government orders, with the government standards. Most of their job is budgie job. Most of their projects they achieved is rubbish.
So you're talking here about that those organizations in mosques and schools even teach tradesmen or businessmen, Muslim businessmen, how to cheat and how to bluff the taxation and stuff like that. Just because actually I heard
and the bluff also the cheat and the bluff also the customers.
Yes, I actually heard some of them actually being proud that they don't pay tax. So no matter how much money they make, they don't pay tax. They are proud of that, unfortunately.
Yes.
So they are not only teaching, they are teaching terrorism, they are teaching Wahhabism, they are teaching the principles and the guidelines of Muslim brotherhoods, instead actually of teaching Arabic and teaching the good Islam or the superficial principles of Islam, just to
the
make
official
them
Islam,
people,
the real Islam.
how to be good people, how to how to love each other, and how to be good people. So what they're doing is actually the opposite, doing those laundered money, which they bring for fake projects in Australia, and using those money to create a generation of potential terrorists who can actually later commit all sorts of crimes, just like what happened in Bondi Beach recently. And the Australians who joined ISIS, who joined the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, and Iraq. So, so that's what you are trying to explain here.
There are something you jump to another point. Now we come to the Iranian rule, Iranian role in this business, Iranian part of this business.
Iranian role,
all these associations actually now, most of 90% of them, they came from Lebanon, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc. That Islamic groups in that area being controlled completely by Iran, especially that Salafiyat jihadist. The Salafiyat jihadist in Saudi Arabia, they've been running away from Saudi Arabia. They went to Syria, to Iraq, to Iran, whenever, Pakistan. These people are funded, organized completely by Iran, and they've been used as another arms for the Islamic revolution octopus led by Khamenei. So these facilities under the control of these associations are working as a mafia, but actually this mafia is not spending the money inside Australia. This is the surprise. Most of this money is being exported to Lebanon to support Hezbollah through that companies of money transferring to Iraq, to Syria, to Lebanon, and that charity also associations. They said we are charity associations. They collect that charities. They said we are going to build a mosque in Syria, in Lebanon, in Iraq, etc.
That's very serious, Sheikh Abdullah. Hold on.
Yes.
So what you are trying to say now, with all the effort to stop the money injected into Hezbollah in Lebanon, actually Iran can transfer this money through Qatar or with Qatar to Australia and launder it as money sent for the associations and build mosques, and then transfer this money individually back to Lebanon to support the efforts of Hezbollah army and all its action,
and Hamas, etc.
Yes, and Hamas and all those people, especially now they are threatening even the Lebanese government, actually, even. So
they are in control of Lebanon.
That's one of the questions, is how could Hezbollah survive since the killing of Hassan Nasrallah till now, and how they built up, their so they are using this those communities, and maybe not, of course, in Australia. We are not talking now.
No, please. Australia is a primary community to support Hezbollah.
So it's a main
associations
source.
In Australia.
It's a main bypass. It's a main bypass.
Are now on the top list of supporting Hezbollah.
So it's the main bypass route to get the money. To get the money from the back door to Hezbollah in Lebanon. Interesting. Yes. I didn't know that.
Something more, they fertilize the community of Muslims in Australia and make it ready so that the Iranian intelligence can pick up at any time crazy boys just like Naveed, and implanted certain ideas in their mind. Go kill that infidels and take revenge from them. And actually, this is another difference between us and them. the law of war and peace. The law of war and peace in Quran and in the speech of Prophet, it is not completely clear. It is going to be clear when you go to the legacy of these 4 imams. We follow them. And it's telling you this. If you are going to a land of non-Muslims, and these non-Muslims are peaceful, friendly, you must be honest with them. You must be peaceful and friendly with them. You should not stab them in the back. You cannot lie to them, and you cannot mislead them, and you must show them the best moral of Islam. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If they are aggressive, you should act in hiding, but not in hiding to start to jump again on them and kill them. No, in hiding until you can leave. Because you should put the priority of your safety and the safety of your family at the beginning.
So it's not a confronting culture. It's a sort of humble attitude toward others, and not to encourage fighting and confronting and, this aggressive mentality. Yes.
In Islam, don't be victim. Our first priority, don't be victim. Your safety is first.
Mm-hmm.
The ideas of Muslim brothers and Salafiyat, if you act just like Naveed and you've been killed, you are shaheed.
Martyr.
Yeah, what they call it?
Martyr.
Martyr. And you are going to go to the heaven with no questioning, and your soul will be with the prophets, Muhammad, Ibrahim, Musa, Jesus,
So
etc.
no matter what he had done before.
Yeah, no matter what he have done before.
He killed, he raped, he stolen,
Yeah.
he did everything wrong, and then he goes, kills someone and dies, and then that's
Yeah.
it. He's a martyr, goes to heaven straight away, and God would forgive him.
We don't have
Would
this
forgive
idea.
him with all the crimes he did before, only because he killed the Jew on Bondi Beach.
Or if he killed me, if he kills me, because I'm an infidel according to him, if he kills me, he's going to heaven if someone killed him. If I killed him, defending myself, he's going to heaven. And I go to hell. That's their idea. That's their engagement rules. So, at any time, these people are projects of terrorism and violence action. Let's finalize all this meeting by this demand. This demand from me to the all Australian community. And I'm expressing this from the Muslim communities in Sydney, because we are suffering from these groups more than anyone. Our new generations are being stolen by them. Our happiness. If you go to all round Sydney, all round Australia, you will find the prices are reasonable. You come to their controlled area, you find the prices are higher than hell. No safety, no stability, no future for business, because they are forcing the businesses to pay them protection fees.
Ransoms.
Ransoms, yes. We are suffering first from these criminals. We are demanding, not only for Jewish people who've been died, it's an incident just opening this file, because there are a lot of victims of these criminals. Our sons who've been recruited and cheated, misled, and went to Iraq and Syria with ISIS and been killed there. I know four brothers, they've been cheated by Salafiyat here, and they've been recruited and go to ISIS and who recruited them, they are walking freely and riding a very beautiful luxury cars and living in a very beautiful big houses by the money they took it from Qatar and from that Iranian intelligence. These four brothers, they died. My friend, he has two sons, only two sons. They've been recruited into Syria and they've been killed, both of them. The man now is crazy. He's crazy now. He's crazy. He's in crazy hospital.
And those criminals who are recruiting them are enjoying driving Mercedes and BMWs, and they have mansions, living in mansions, spending millions of dollars, and sending those people to heaven to die.
And they go tourist in Bali every year. They have their own facilities in the tourist areas in Queensland.
By the way, those two criminals, Navid and his son, who committed the crime in Bondi Beach, they were very recently in Philippines. And the authorities, look, they are really they are really dumb, The authorities said, there was no connection with any military training. You idiot! They went to Philippines to have cheap women and enjoy their last moments in life, and probably even drinking alcohol and have sex day and night. Just check how much Viagra they took with them to the Philippines.
The last enjoyment before going to heaven. Before going to heaven.
Because they were going to die. How stupid. I immediately laughed. They were in a good hotel, 4-star hotels in Manila, where they can get prostitutes. And the authorities here are so dumb. I say it, I'm not worried. Yes, Australians or Australian authorities, you are stupid. You are idiots. Those guys did not go to the Philippines to practice shooting. They did it here in Australia. They went there to have fun before they die, you idiots. Come on, unbelievable, man. It's just unbelievable.
I am demanding a royal commission to investigate every single Islamic association in this country. Every single dollar comes to that associations, every single dollar gets out of these associations. Every single one of them, every single one of these leaders, they should be investigated deeply. And this Royal Commission has to open the doors for everyone to come and testify in a very super safety and with a security. And they should secure that all these testimonies are in secret. No one can know who are testifying. And there are a big program has been adopted by Malaysian government, and it is very successful to fight the ideas of Muslim Brothers and Salafiyat. They call it the de-radicalism program. This de-radicalism program, led by sheikhs of that official original Islam, to de-radicalize the people who've been infected by the ideas of Muslim Brothers and Salafiyat. Otherwise, we will see more and more and more and more incidents like Bondi. And no one can knows where they are going to strike again. No one knows.
So
the clashes now in Middle East is just intensifying. And this clashes in Middle East, it is now, just urging everyone to be angry. But expressing your anger, it is not by going to the third party, which have relation between you and your opponent, and try to punish them. Because this punishment, not to the Jews or Israel, this is a punishment to Australia. This is a punishment to the Muslims in community in Australia, the Arabic Muslim community in Australia, to Middle East community in Australia. We should take this matter serious. Royal Commission, de-radicalism program, and this is the only way to get rid of this danger.
Yeah,
no other way.
De-radicalization is very important. So what I believe, and probably you agree with me, that actually the governments, all the governments in Australia, all states, should have direct control on Friday speech in every mosque. Plus,
not enough. Not enough.
yeah,
Not enough.
Plus.
Not enough. They are not enough. Not enough. There are private. They are private. They don't go to the mosque and say this. No.
So
they make it in private, in their private meetings.
Yeah.
And they express these ideas through pamphlets, books, private lessons, and these leaders who are just, expanded, distributing these ideas, they should go into what they call it, to hell, to locked, and then they must be under a de-radicalism program. So their mind should be clean, and first of all, they should be investigated where they are getting money from.
They should stop the money, of course. That's the main things, of course.
Yeah, the financial part is the most dangerous part.
So we have.
If you take out this financial part, they will collapse and they will vanish within 10 years, 5 years.
One of the most important incidents happened recently. As you know, Saudi Arabia now is allowing Saudi girls to go in bikini to beach, but in the same time they are sending the books of Ibn Taymiyyah to Syria. So they are teaching Syrians how to be Wahhabist and to kill everyone else around. They are supporting the existence of a terrorist leading the country, which I mentioned recently. I was on air with one radio in Middle East, and I said that the fact that Abu Muhammad al-Julani, the terrorist, the organizer of Al-Nusra Front in Syria, the terrorist who's now the president of Syria, this incident. And when he went to the Al-Umawi mosque, what he said? He said, "Obey me as long as I obey the God in you." And this sentence was said by Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the founder of ISIS in Iraq, representing themselves or inaugurating themselves as caliph of the Muslims, because that's
the successors of the Prophet.
Yes, because that sentence was said by the first successors was the Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So they are making themselves or inaugurating themselves as caliphs of all the Muslims. Now the existence of a terrorist organization leading or controlling the capital of Syria, I believe it was like a testosterone injection, giving IM to those organizations all over the world, to all the terrorists all over the world, because they have hope. Now they have a Wahhabist state already established in the Middle East under the care of UK and United States.
Yeah. Actually, doctor, they are using Syria as a trash can.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to help the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia to succeed in abolishing the Islamic State of Saudi Arabia and replace it with what they call it, Ilmani, I don't know what they call it.
Secular.
Yeah, secular state in Saudi Arabia. And they want him to finish his task in peaceful way, stopping anything threatening this program. So they open a trash can in Syria, they collected them, they throw them in Syria, and they want them to be there. And they know very well they are going to kill each other, just like what happened in Tadmor, in Aleppo yesterday. And it's only the beginning, you know. They will start killing each other, and who will suffer from this trash is us, the Sunnis in Syria. We will be the first victims of this trash can.
But don't you think allowing them to have or to establish a Salafi state in Syria actually psychologically at least supporting terrorism in Australia and all over the world? Because they have now a state already, you know, established there.
You did not study Salafiyat. You don't know anything about Salafiyat. Salafiyya will never establish a state in a small village, not in a huge country like Syria. They don't know what is politics. They don't know what is the statehood. They don't know what is the law, what is the stability, safety, how to use authority. They don't know these things. These people are only naive, recruited people. They've been victims of the Western intelligence. They used them to support Bashar al-Assad negatively, to help him to stay in power, and then they are now using them to help Bin Salman and the Gulf area negatively also, to get rid of that very ancient Wahhabis from their power, from the power in their countries.
It is now, as you are saying, it's the rubbish bin of all those terrorists.
Exactly.
They are sending those terrorists. But would that simulate the same what happened in 2014 when Australians were being radicalized and actually went to Iraq and Syria to fight with their brothers, okay, to become martyrs? Would that actually reflect on the situation in Australia or not? Is it better or worse for us here in Australia if there is a state there, or let's say a state? I understand your point. I got your point that those are just terrorist idiots who have no idea about how to create a state. But now they have a land of jihad. Let's put it this way. They have a land of jihad which is fueling radicalism all over the planet. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you agree with that or not?
No. Jawlani and his group, they are very much weak than you think. Okay. It's only a trash can, and they are going to take these stupids from the Gulf area, attracting them. They throw them in Syria and they burn them there. The first establishing of ISIS, these people, they went there to protect the interests of Western countries, which been guarded by Bashar al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad was a very serious man guarding the interests of Western countries. Western countries now, they want to use Jawlani to hold on situation in Syria until they manage the permanent situation in Syria next. But now, let's use this country as a trash can, get rid of all these people. We don't want them to be there anymore. And you will remember these words I'm telling you. You know the fighters of Hamas?
Mm-hmm.
They all will be exported to Syria.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the plans. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with that. So going back to our subject. So actually, I agree totally with you that we need a royal commission created by the Federal Parliament of Australia to investigate the roots of terrorism in Australia and to come up with deep investigation.
To investigate, not the rules of terrorists. No. to investigate every Islamic association in Australia.
Everyone, every single organization.
Doesn't matter. This organization, this Islamic association, belonging to whom? Because I know they will discover hands of revolutionary guards of Iran in these associations, in every single one.
So you think Iran and Qatar are the main influencers of terrorism?
They are controlling all our mosques or our Islamic schools.
That's a disaster.
Last thing I want to emphasize, Doctor. These associations should, supposedly, they've been created to organize the community activities, correct? Every single community in Australia, they have their own clubs, not only clubs, Macedonians, Portuguese, French, Irish, all of them. They have their own clubs. This club is organizing the activities of the community. Muslims, they don't have one. I've been suggesting that for 25 years. No one responding to me. They say, we are going to build another mosque. Why another mosque? There are a lot of mosques. A lot of mosques all around Sydney. We need somewhere to meet each other, to sit down to eat with each other freely.
They don't want that. No, they don't want
that. They don't want that. I'm demanding the federal government to open many clubs for Islamic communities in all around Australia with the Islamic standards. No alcohol, no pig, and that strict. It's very limited.
Not only
that,
and
it can make everyone happy, and it can, take out, release all this pressure in the psychology of Muslims in this country.
Not only that, actually, sport is a very important factor for youth to engage and become actually good citizens, because in sport they go and play with other communities, they play with other religions, they are in contact, they become friends, so they don't have time. And that's what we do, because I'm involved in a few organizations actually in Australia as a doctor. We concentrate on sport in the first place to make youth leave drugs and alcohol. It's the main way, actually. Sport and activities, and people sit together, play even games, play board games and things, instead actually of going and use drugs.
We don't have a sport club. We don't have a sport club.
That's a disaster.
We don't have a playground. We don't have anything like this. We don't have a gallery for art.
No music.
No music. No gallery of art. Nothing. No social activities at all.
Only those.
The Muslim girl, she wants to get married. She should go to that club, meet another girls, another families with her family. We don't have this choice. We don't have it. The youth of our boys, they can't meet the Muslim girls because they don't. There is no meeting land. They can't meet the other families. They can't mix with the other families. How are they gonna get married?
They do only those close groups to teach them Wahhabism.
Exactly.
To recruit them to go become terrorists at any time. They can take wherever they want all over the world. And that's how they control those communities. And they keep building mosques, because that's the way they get money from Qatar and Saudi Arabia and Iran.
Exactly. and making more candidates, more victims for the future from our community.
And get the money back to Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Yes, exactly.
How dumb, unbelievable. And I can't understand how the intelligence doesn't see them. You know, why they don't.
Don't be so genuine. They know. They know what they are doing.
They know
what they are doing.
But they just
and when you speak with their high officials, they said that's a high policies for the high national interest. I'll tell you something. I've heard it. And let's conclude, please, this meeting because I have to go pray.
Okay.
I had meeting with one of them. He's great Masonic. I said, why are you allowing these people to control every single mosque in our countries? I met him in Europe. He said, Sheikh, don't be stupid. What is more dangerous on our national security? Letting the Islam spread peacefully, or having some few incidents here and there and pushing the people away from Islam? I shut up. Yes. I had no response. Thank you, Doctor.
إن اللبيب من الإشارة.
من الإشارة يفهم.
Okay, I hope they understand this. I'm not translating this. Okay, Sheikh Abdullah. Thank you very much. I'll let you go for your prayer. Thank you, and thank you everyone. And
thank for everyone.
We will talk again about this hot subject. Thank you. Have a good night.
Inshallah. Thank you very much.
Happy New Year to you.
For everyone, inshallah. Very happy times for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.